Hi everyone, welcome to my cross stitch channel. I'm Heather Miller and this is the Mirror Image Stitcher, and I'm also that on Instagram. Welcome if you're new, and thank you for anyone that's returning to watch and listen to me ramble about my cross stitch projects. I have a lot that I'm going to do today. I'm kind of surrounded by things. And so I'm going to be bending over, I'm going to be moving things to the side. I feel like this is what every cross-stitch channel starts with, is that they are pristine, they have notes, everything's going great, and they devolve, I think that's a word, down to exactly what I'm doing today. Flying by the seat of my pants, no notes today. And just telling you a bit about my projects. I have opened up zippers. I've got a drink of water here in case my throat gets dry when I am chatting. This is a very amateur channel. It is just me enjoying showing you what I'm doing. And as I watch other YouTubers, and I enjoy watching what other people are stitching as well. So I have some, a fully finish, I have a couple of finishes, and then I have some old, like save the stitch piece. I have some older pieces I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about my WIPS. And yeah, so let's get started. The first one I want to show you is I've participated in the Canada Swaps that's put on by the Stitching Owl, Carolyn, which I appreciate her organizing for all of us. This is the third one that she's organized. And so I have finished my, I'm sorry I do a lot of that. I have finished my gift, my small exchange gift. So it's just a little basket that I got at Michael's. This is Darlene Dion Designs. It is called Aunt Lenny's Berry Basket. It is a little pattern. It's 61 wide by 55 high, and I have done it on 36 count country mocha. So that's what it looks like. The part in the middle is all according to the chart, but I had this Cosmo floss. It's a variegated floss. And so I have just substituted that. I've used some little buttons and some 12 weight pearl cotton thread to attach them. What I did here was, it's kind of hard to see, but I just hand stitched a bit of batting and a backing fabric on there just to make it a bit poofy, just to protect the back so you can't, you know, see it from the inside. And yeah, I think it turned out quite well. So I'm very happy with that. I'm also going to be giving this jam, raspberry and rose spread. It is by Salt Spring Kitchen Company, and this is in British Columbia, I believe. Yeah, so that one. And then they had these little tins. They've got like licorice mints in them, and I'm going to pass it on to my exchange person. She can have the mints and or just dump it out and use the tin. So I thought that was kind of cute. Oh, that's my project there. All right. Okay, next is another Darlene Dion Designs that I have been working on. And I have, she has a set of 4, and I think it's called Sure Signs of like spring, summer, fall, or autumn and winter. So I have completed the winter. Now, I used a little bit of satin thread that I had been given. I was given a whole bunch of like metallic threads, specialty, like silk threads, etc. And so I kind of wanted to start implementing them just here and there whenever I felt like it worked. So I've used that in the pattern. And I think I also used a Cosmo variegated floss. Although because of the plaid fabric, I don't think you can see it very well. It's a little bit better in person where you kind of see the variegation and how it just kind of gives the white a little bit different splotch. Like, I don't know, in the thing I can sort of see here, I can see something there. And it does kind of, instead of just straight white, it does do that. This here was a very interesting floss. I'm not sure I'm super happy with it, but I think it's going to do. I'm not doing it over, and I thought that would be a great way to finish off that little, you probably can't see, it's got a little bit of a sparkle to it. I'm going to show you what it is. I have it in here. So this was the red. It's Neon Rays Ribbon Point ribbon. And then this is the green. Now I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that, but it's kind of got a sparkle and it's almost an organza tube with a floss running through it. A metallic floss. So I used that and I'm happy with it. It's, I think, going to be just fine. I've shown these before, but this is the summer and I've got a little, let's see here, a little corn cob button I'm going to put on here. I'm from Southern Alberta and we grow corn here. And so I think that would be quite cute for summer. I might put some other buttons on the other ones. This is the spring. So basically in this series, all I have left to do is the autumn one. So I need to kit that up and get going on that. Okay, where am I going to put that? Okay, there. All right. Now, the next one I got done was a Stacy Nash animal crackers. This is what it looks like. His name is Humphrey, and he's all stitched. I have used all the called for WIPS dye works. These didn't really use very much of the floss of these ones, but I did have to go to a second skein of the charcoal. So I'm very happy that I did request 2 when I got that. This is the pattern. And he's holding, it's hard to see in the picture here, but he's holding a little felted red mouse, or like burgundy dark wool mouse. So the pattern says to sort of, what's the word? Like you would not tea dye it, but antique it. Maybe that's the word. You antique it. So I'm going to practice on a bit of this leftover fabric. I'm feeling like I'm going to use some walnut crystals that I will dissolve. I bought them, in the 2020s, 2021, and have never done anything with them. So I'm going to try that on some scrap stuff, maybe with like a sponge of some type, and kind of dot it and see how it comes out. And then I want to make the little mouse. And then I want, once that's all completed, then I want to give this away on my channel at some point as a giveaway. So that was quite fun. This stitch count is 69 high by 105 wide. And I used white chocolate linen by Zweigart, a 32 count. That's what I used. And I'm going to do all of them on this fabric. I have several others, and I would like to do all of them on that fabric. So that is him. Okay. Now, I want to go back in time to some old projects. Let me put that away. I have gone through some stuff, and I wanted to show this, and then I kind of want to get rid of them. So my grandmother used to cross stitch. I would watch her cross stitch. I received little bookmarks or little things from her, like she would make a little cross stitch. She would cut out like a little frame out of cardboard that she got out of the mail or something, make it into a little card and send that at Christmas time or for my birthday. So I have different things like that. But one of the things that I inherited after she passed away was a couple of these little bibs. So this one is completely undone, or like not even started. And then I have a couple of these that were not started or anything. That they have like an Aida cloth on the front. And there is a little kind of hole here where you can put your hand in to stitch. Now, this one she had actually somewhat started. And back in the day, I know this technique has a name to it. I can't remember what it is. Where the X's are printed on the fabric and then you make them and then you stitch it. Now, this is what it looked like on the back. Now, to be honest, she had some of this alligator stitched in a green. And I had inherited some threads. I went through all the threads. I went through everything. I went through my own DMC. I could not match that green. So I really kind of wanted to keep it and then carry on. And then I decided, okay, I can't do that. I'm going to take out the green and I'm going to leave her other stitching there and carry on. I didn't like how it was looking on the back. I did try to do it because I stitch in hand and I can do a sewing technique and try to not even have it go all the way through the fabric, to have it so that you don't see it on the back, the stitches. But it wasn't working. It was really hard to make those X's straight. Yeah, so I have decided to sort of abandon this project. I think it was lovely. I probably am just going to get rid of this one and I'm going to donate these to my local thrift store and I think call it a day. So that's what I'm going to do. I do have other little tiny pieces that my grandmother stitched that I have as mementos. And so I'm just going to go with that. The next thing I wanted to show you was like a save the stitches. Obviously, as I was in a thrift store somewhere of some kind, and I picked up this. This is a Precious Moments pattern. It does have the initials CB90. So stitched in the 90s or completed, one or the other. It's a very cute little stitch. The main reason why I picked it up was because those ones that I have shown in other cross stitch videos, it's the same frame. So that's why I've kept it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, And I haven't, it was professionally framed. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm just going to stick it away. And if I ever come up with something or I do some more Alma Lynn, I might put something in there and take that one out. These have all been kind of in a pile sitting outside this door all summer, if not as also the month of June. And so I wanted to kind of get some of this cleaned up and get it out of the way. So that's why I wanted to show you this. Now, this actually is a piece that I got that my grandmother stitched. My dad's mom stitched. It was in, she had some old tins and a whole kind of like box of her sewing supplies, her quilt, cross stitch supplies. It's not finished or anything. It's just like that. And so I'm going to put this on my finishing pile now that I've shown it to you. And I'm probably going to just, outline the back of it, put, something on the back and then just hand stitch it on. And then I'm going to put this on my wall. So yeah, I thought that was really cute. I'm going to have to stretch it a bit more. It's kind of gotten saggy in the middle and whatnot. So I'm going to do that, but I wanted to show you. All right. Okay. Actually, going back to these ones here, I had an idea for how to finish these. I actually had done one of these for the Canada Swaps. I don't remember, 1 or 2. And I had finished it on this board, number 2, I think. And I'd finished it on one of these boards that I had gotten at the dollar store. But I also have this thing. It's a little stand that's kind of got this thing. And I thought I might do something that I can hang it like a banner. Sort of like this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But I just wanted to show you, I forgot when I was talking about these, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And I might do that, or I might put it on this block, this little thing. So if you have any suggestions or you have like you want to vote to see which one you think would look nice, let me know. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go on to my WIPS now. I wrote them down here. I want to say I have around 35, 37 WIPS, I think, somewhere around there. And it was obviously there's not enough time in the day. There's, to work on everything. I do love cross stitching. I pick some cross stitch patterns just for the simple enjoyment, like big block stitching like Carolyn Manning's. When you're super tired, you're watching TV, and you just want your mind to be able to go on autopilot kind of thing. Other ones are more intricate. They're, a lot of counting. So, those are ones that I work on when I've got good light, when I'm kind of by myself and I can concentrate sort of thing. But I want it, so I am a bit of a process stitcher, but I also am a finishing person. I do want to finish the ones that I start. So I kind of went through all of my WIPs and I decided on 18 of them that I want to complete. I was going to hone in on and put the rest away in a box, and I'm just got these 17 out. So those are the ones that I'm going to show you now. Now, I'm not going to get through all 17 or 18 of them. It looks like we're about 19 minutes now. And so I'm probably going to go to about 45 minutes-ish. 40, and then I'm going to wrap it up. And then another day I'll begin on some other ones that I'm working on. So I am going to start with this one. This is one of my full coverage pieces. I'm going to put in a picture here. It's called Rivendell. It's not much to look at right at the moment. this is it. It's a lot of blue sky. But there's a story behind this. I had bought this pattern off of Etsy, and I hadn't started it. And I was scrolling through the Magazine Monthly Facebook group, and there was a young gal on there who, her name is Megan, and she had said she was ready to start this. And I'm like, oh, I've got that too. I messaged her and said, hey, I've got that pattern. Why don't we start it together? And she's like, absolutely. So we did. Now, she started in the upper left-hand corner, and I've started, let's see, in the upper right-hand corner. Yes. So upper left, I started in the upper right. I didn't get very far. I don't even know if I can show that part here. Let's see if I can undo it enough. A little bit. So I started actually in the lower left hand, I started in the upper right. And I soon quickly realized I was only using one thread, and I realized there were blends. I hadn't quite read the pattern properly, and I realized there were blends. So I just, you just take your fabric, flip it upside down, and I restarted instead of there, I restarted up in this corner. So simple fix. This is 25 count Easy Grid Lugana. Sorry, no, that's not true. This is 20 count Easy Grid Lugana. So that was my sort of start to this. Oh, I should know how many stitches. I'm about 2,500 stitches in. I should have grabbed a few more things. Anyways, next time I show this, I will tell you more statistics. Make sure I have more statistics about this. Now, after we started this, what me and Megan would do, we would kind of message each other on Facebook, like about once a week, because I kind of had made the commitment that I would work on this every Sunday. It didn't matter if I put 25 stitches in or 250 stitches. I just picked it up on Sundays. And then we would message each other and tell each other kind of what we were, how far we got or whatever. And we chit chat a bit. Well, she had gotten in about 1,800 stitches, and she realized she had cut her fabric too small. She knew the size she needed for the actual pattern, but didn't leave any for the margins or, like a border around it. So she was fairly devastated. She was talking to different people. I was talking to her, and I said, you know what you can do is find out what's going on, on this side and this side, or one of this, because she started, so you can't really do much on that side, but you could cut here and cut here. You could just crop the pattern. So find out how much you would need to crop the pattern on those two sides, and see if it takes anything significantly out. And so she had a look at it, and lo and behold, it would just be background stuff, rocks, trees. That's it. You wouldn't lose any part of the really good parts of the pattern. And so she was able to continue. Was super happy about that. It was really nice to be able to help because she is a newer stitcher, and to be able to help her kind of work her way through and problem solve something and come up with a great solution that where she doesn't have to lose any of her progress and she can keep going. So she does actually have a YouTube channel now. She's called MJ Stitches, and I'll put it down below, and go check her out. She's really a fun young person to watch. She chats and has a very smooth voice, and kind of it just ticks along. So I really enjoy watching. I'm glad she started a YouTube channel. So I am going to I just talked to a good friend who does nothing but full coverage, Joyce, And she's given me some idea about how else to do my threads here. So when I get some time, I want to implement her suggestion. And yeah, I want to be able to share that with you another time. But that's my first project. Now, I'm going to just leave this open. Okay. I have a lot of African themed decor in my home. And so when I was looking at some of my stuff, I thought, you know, I really want to get this other African themed cross stitch done. It's full coverage. It's called African Woman, and I got it off of Etsy. I have the, okay. It is by Cross Stitch TR on Etsy. I believe she's a Ukrainian. This is what her name is. I'll leave it up here so you can see. This is the gal's name. It is 166 wide by 200 high. There are 30 colors. I started it on October of 2023. And I am using Gold Streak 32 count linen. And I got it from Kaylee 10 Stitch, my sewing shop. She's a gal in Ontario. And I was in her fabric club for a year. These are the threads. There's quite a few. So those are my threads. They're all DMC, although I think I have substituted some Cosmo colors in there. And sometimes again, this I have park threads. I find that they keep me orientated to the pattern, because I can count off one side. Yep, I should have a park thread in that corner. Perfect. Yep, I'm in the right spot. Yep, I'm counting properly, etc. It's very wrinkled, but I work in hand most of my stuff. So that's where I'm at. I again started in the upper right-hand corner. And it's going to go very well. And because I'm going to sort of finish it like a tapestry kind of thing, a wall hanging. Why did I say that? It doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't know that you can see the gold in her fabric. That often doesn't show up in on screen. Obviously the middle part, all of that will be covered, but I've situated on the fabric so you see some really nice ones, some nice streaks on the side of the pattern, of the side of the fabric. So that's going to shine once it's all done. This is a 32 count linen, and it was fairly difficult to start. But I encourage people, if they're doing anything like this, on that actually, as the more you get going, the easier it is to see the threads, to make your X's, because the stitches above almost like separate the threads and make them into little squares anyway. So I encourage people that I know it's pretty difficult to get started. That first bit, this kind of corner, but once I got going, it actually became easier and easier to stitch on it, to see the little square threads, to see count threads, 2 up, 2 over, and it has become a lot easier and will just get easier as I move along. So, and then as it fills in this stuff, it kind of gets a little stiffer and gives the fabric a bit more, it's not so flimsy. It gives it more body and makes it easier. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. So I So we have gone to South Africa, and so I am working on this on Saturdays, exactly the same thing. I pick it up on Saturdays for however long I want. South Africa Saturday, I called it. And so I do that. Now, I will say this. In August, the last 2 weekends of August, I did not do any of this weekend stitching. We had archery we did a lot of archery this summer, and I was gone basically every weekend that I wasn't working. And so this did not get the last 2 weekends, but that's okay. It's September is a new month, and I'm gonna, that part has slowed down a bit, and so then I can do some more work on that one. My next one that I want to show you is, it's the free cell by the Snowflower Diaries called Joyful World. I am working on May. So I have done January through April, and I've showed those, and now I'm working on May. Now, they are 99 wide by 73 high, and I'm doing them all on Pictureless Plus Ren 32 count. And I am looking at the threads and just picking from my stash. So it could be Mrs. Seda Silks, it could be from Hand Dyed Boy Rolanda, it could be DMC, it could be a mystery thread, whatever I think will work, that's what I'm going to do. Now this one, I have been actually wanting to do them more primitive. And so I'm using one thread. I sort of prefer 2 threads on 32 count. And so the other ones are like that. And then for some reason, I don't know what, my brain took over and I did the 2 kitty cats and 2 threads over 2. So they're actually quite a bit denser stitching than some of the others, but I'm only going to display them by month, so it doesn't matter. Then I had the called for green, I think it's called baby spinach, and it had something else at the bottom. So I kind of tried my own thing. I tried some other greens and I mixed one with a brown and it wasn't working. I pulled it all out. And then I went with a dark chocolate kind of brown color because that's what it called for. But I did down there, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it is very dark fabric. But I decided to do what they call a Leviathan or a double cross stitch, Leviathan stitch. I'll put it at the bottom. And it's sort of, you make 2 X's and then you do a bit more, kind of like a Smirnoff cross, but it's kind of like that. But it's 2 cross stitches together make 1 Leviathan stitch. So it gives a bit of dimension. And so that's what I was doing. I found that this 32 count was really hard. I've said this before. I tried it in hand. It was really tough. I've tried. I can't use Q snaps. I find them too heavy to work on. And but this one is heavy, but I can sort of like prop it up like that. And I do only one hand. I have never really been a two-handed stitcher because I have used a lot of scroll rods in my time, but I never ever had a stand that would hold this so I could be a two-handed stitcher. So I never developed that skill. I have a plan for something I would like to do. I do have a stand now that holds these. I bought it in, I think, 2021. And I want to be able to move it upstairs, but we have some things coming. I want to have that all set out first and then see where my stand will fit. And then I'm going to do that. But this is so this has made me the most successful in working towards getting these done. So basically I'm trying to stitch on this every single day, put in a few threads and then do whatever else that I want to do. So that is that one. Okay. All right. Okay. The next one is this one. It's called Treetops. It's a Carolyn Manning. It is, I do not have, I want to say it's like 189 square, I think is the stitch count. I can undo this. Let's see here. Sorry, 1 second. Let's see here. Yeah, see, it's nice to have this all done, but sometimes you'd never, just like everyone who's done a Flosstube, at some point you get to the point where if you had to prepare all of this in advance, you'd never have any time to do the Flosstube. So this is what we're doing. So this is the pattern. I actually started this in October of 2023 when we were on our way to South Africa. So I stitched it on the plane. I stitched it in the blind that we were sitting in. They have a lot of red powdery dirt there. And so I actually threw it in the wash. I threw it right in the washing machine with my towels and then let it air dry and to get some, just to clean it up a little bit. It's all either Cosmo Floss. What is it? It's either Cosmo Floss or DMC Floss. This is the card I have it on. Now, I had done this square mostly I'd started it and mostly did a lot of this when I was in Africa. Then what I did was I had done a whole column up to here, but I started up there. I worked my way down and I was one row short. Needless to say, I just ripped off the bandage, started picking it out, and I had to pick out about 1,200 stitches. But it went quite easily, actually. It only took me about a day, a few hours to do it. And then I restarted and I stitched from here up. I turned it around, stitched, and then it was better. And I'm glad I did, but it was kind of a hard pill to swallow at the time. But I got it done and now I'm moving forward. I really like this because it's a lot of fill-in. Now, this is where I had, in one of my other previous videos, I had talked about one of those thread winders that I used to cut my threads. So they're all kind of basically the same length. It's an 18-inch length, and then I fold it in half and I stitch it. Now, the folding it in half gives me the perfect amount of thread for doing one of these diamonds. However, it gets really tight when I have to do those 4 little triangles in the corner. So I actually have a regular needle that I use, like a 26 or whatever, 24, because this is 14. This is actually a 14 count Ada that my grandmother had left me, that I got out of her stash. So that's where this came from. And so I have a regular needle and then I have a petite needle. I get so far on the thread because I'm a bit of a miser, and then I use my tiny little needle, my really short needle, to get those last few stitches. And I have really honed in on the way I stitched those 4 triangles in the corner, so I have the most amount of thread at the end so that I can do it all. That's where I was talking about with these, that I almost wish that I could, if I were to kit up another Carolyn Manning, I almost would figure out how I could cut them so they were 19-inch lengths. That would be ideal, I think. So someday I'm going to do that, if I have lots of other her patterns. I have 2 on the go, and I'm showing you one today. That's it. But when I get to some of her other patterns, I might be tempted to cut my lengths into 19-inch lengths, because that would just give me that tiny bit more for that one without wasting any thread. All right. Okay. Next is my Susanna Walker. It is by Modern Folk Embroidery. It's a reproduction sampler. I'm not really going to show that. I have shown that quite a bit. I've completed my monthly goal for August. I think I'm actually 1 month ahead. And so, but I have monthly goals for this. Like I gridded the pattern, and I do each portion once a month, so that it was a leap year start, and so that I can get this done by February of 2028. So this is in a bag that I made. And this was a cross stitch that I had done and then just turned it into a bag. Okay. Now, this one was a new start for me. Let me pull it out. First of all, this is a bag that I made, and it's actually out of a dish mat from the dollar store. I'll put her name down here. It's a YouTube channel to watch, and she does a lot of like, what can you make from stuff that you buy at the dollar store? So I had a zipper, I made it. The edges didn't come out the way I like, so I added just a little piece of fabric to kind of cover those edges up a little bit. So I think it looks okay. So I work on this the first of every month, and I started this on July 1st of this year. So it is an Ink Circles Reflections of Canada. And I am using, a while back, I had bought this Leo and Roxy, which is Roxy Floss Co. now, I believe. And it is called 11 Points. So that's the fabric, or the floss. And I am doing it on it is a 22 count. Yeah, it's a 22 count hardanger fabric. I am doing it 1 thread. And it's a variegated thread, so I'm stitching each X individually. And that is the tiny little start. So I did it for July 1st, and then August 1st was our archery event at our place. And so I got like 25 stitches in, but at least I did it. So September 1st is coming up, and that's what I'm going to do. Jean, there are lots of, basically it is like stitching 1/1, because the way hardanger fabric 22 count is woven, you kind of have to treat it like 1/1 stitching, because otherwise sometimes the thread, like your floss thread, can slip under the thread of the fabric. So I personally, I'll put it down below. I watch Jean Farish, and I'll put down the Flosstube number that she talks about, and that was for the first time that I totally understood how come you stitch it a certain way, how to read the weave of your fabric so that you know how to make the X, and so that doesn't happen. So was that. And these are just ones. It doesn't matter how long these take. I'm just enjoying that. And at some point I will decide, yep, I want to get this done, and I'll work on it. But for right now, it's going to be once a month just to make some progress. Okay, we are at 45 minutes now. So I am going to show you one more, and then I'm going to wrap it up for today. My next one that I am going to show you is also a new start, and I have wanted to start this for years. July of 1990 is the issue of Just for the Love of Cross Stitch. Love this magazine. I can take that off. And this is, of course, I won't be able to find it now that I'm trying to get it quickly. Isn't that the case? Oh. Okay, here it is. So it's called Teddy Bear Parade, and again, it kind of goes along with, I like the U.S. flag, so I wanted to do it. It's a cute little stitch. These bears are no joke in that the shading, it's like 4 shades of brown, and they're all very close. You know, they're just one step, like 434, 435, 436, 437. Like they're all kind of in a row type of thing. And you'll have stitched 5 in one color, and then you go to stitch others, and it'd be like, okay, did I stitch 3 or did I stitch 4? Like I can't see where this color, like, do you know what I mean? So I have found that I'm almost kind of doing like a snake method. I'll take one color and I kind of stitch it as far as I go. Then I cross it off. And I have to be really careful on my counting, because once I've got it stitched in, I'm going to show you. Once I've got it stitched in, it can be really hard to tell the difference. Like, was that one color or was that a different color? So I'll just use this. So that's what I've got done. It's beautiful, this shading, but I do find that I have to really be careful with it. So I work on this of the 4th of every month. I started on July 4th, and so then I stitch on August 4th for a bit. It is, it is 64 wide by 80 high, and it is designed from Heart Print Greeting Cards, Jacksonville. Original artwork by Jan Jameson. Yeah, so I thought that was really cute. Okay, and these are the threads. I think they're all DMC. I didn't do any substitutes for Cosmo Floss. Oh, I did a couple of the really light colors in there. A couple of these light colors, these lighter colors in there are some Cosmo Floss. Mostly because I just looked at my stash and I'm like, okay, that color of floss, do I have enough or do I have to buy something? No, I might have to, but I have enough of the Cosmos, so I'm just going to kit that up. That's really the only reason why I did that. Again, I just want to try to use my stash, and so I don't have to buy any more thread if I don't have to, because I could stitch, just like all of us, we could stitch, for 5 years and probably not go to the store to get something if we didn't start anything new. Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of my projects out of the 18 that I have done. So I'm going to stop there, and then we'll carry on another day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me ramble on about my passion of cross stitch and all my projects. I probably from now on, I've done 3 quilting videos, but from now on, I think I'm just going to add any quilting that I might be finished or have something to say about it. I'm going to add it at the end of my cross stitch videos. I'm not going to do a separate particular video, I don't think. Anyway, I don't think. So I just thought I would just mention that at the end. So take care. Enjoy your stitching. And as I always say to my family and friends when they're leaving, see you, love you, bye.